Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited today to talk to you guys. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to be a better you. And if you have noticed, the podcast title has changed from the Emotional Abuse Recovery Podcast to Be a Better You. And I've also changed the graphics and what you see. Now, there is a very good reason for this, and I'm going to be talking about that, and I have some big announcements and exciting news that I can't wait to share with you. But before we get into what those things are, I want to just initially talk about what this means. Like, what does being a better you mean? And then we'll come back to all the excitement and things that I really want to share with you. But I know that you're here and you want to be the best version of yourself that you can be. So let's talk about that first. So the first thing I wanted to mention is, why I have been on this journey for myself is because I really, truly do want to be the best version of me that I possibly can. My goal in this life is not to just be on a hamster wheel, to continue to just do the same things over and over again. I want to embody and become and be the best version of me that I possibly can. So, if this is something that you align with for your personal life, then listen up because I think this is going to really help you. So, what does this actually mean? Like, what does it mean to be a better you? And for me, it really means just going to the next level in your personal development, right? So, we're actually shifting from self-recovery to self-discovery, okay? And so this might be a new concept for you, and if it is, that's great. Just listen up, and I think it'll be more clear as we go through this. So if you've had a yearning or a calling to be something more, to experience things on a more deep level, to live more intentionally, or to experience life more passionately, then this is what I'm talking about. So how did I get here, right? Well, as you know, I experienced a lot of emotional abuse, 20 years, and I really had to do this deep healing practice to get myself out of this traumatic place. And probably if you're listening and you have been listening to this podcast, you know what this is like. But then what, right? Once you start doing that deep healing work, you start practicing shifting your emotions and exploring your subconscious mind and doing all of the things to help you, what comes next? Well, for me, it was that I wanted to keep going. I felt like I had this momentum that was pushing me and urging me forward, and I wanted to go in that direction. I wanted more self-discovery. I wanted to understand myself on a deeper level. I wanted to get out of the way all the things that would keep me from being the best version of me that I possibly could, for not only myself, but for my family, for my community, for you guys, for my soul, right? So this is a huge part of who I am, is this, urge and this desire to continue to move in a positive direction for me and for everybody else around me who I impact. So if this aligns with you and you're nodding your head and you're like, yes, I've been wanting this. I've really been wanting this. I want to move my life in a positive direction. I want to get out of this like hamster wheel state of being. I've been trying all these different things and I really want to up level. Then I think this is going to be really helpful. And I'm going to give you some tips to work through this as well. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is give you some information and tell you exactly how this came to be. So there are some tools and that that I use, and one of those tools is subconscious mindset work. The subconscious mind runs 95% of the show. So again, as you know, if we're not working in the subconscious mind, all we're doing is coping. So what coping is the hamster wheel, right? And if we're not doing something more than coping, then we are just never going to get off that hamster wheel. So that's number one. Number two is human design. Now, if you're not familiar with human design, I would really, really encourage you to do a Google search, start looking online. You can even run your own personal human design chart. And human design is really an amazing tool to help you understand yourself on a soul level, to understand who you are, who you were meant to be, how you were designed by the Creator to be on this planet, what you're supposed to be doing to help other people, what you're supposed to be doing to live the most aligned and easeful life, not easy life, but easeful life. So human design is going to be a part of this because it has so positively impacted my life that I want to help you with it as well. The other piece is EFT. EFT is a tapping tool that you can use. If you've used it, wonderful. You already know how. You're already a step ahead of the game. If you're not familiar with it, you can learn about this as well. There are YouTube videos that you can get on and you can experience EFT. It's called tapping. If emotional freedom technique is the EFT acronym, but this is something that has also just completely helped me and shifted things in my life because it helps bring up the stuff in the subconscious mind. So these are really powerful tools that I am using in my coaching program to help you become the best version of yourself, to be a better you. So when we are using these tools, right, like a lot of people don't really understand that the subconscious mind plays such a pivotal role in your personal growth and your personal development. Most people really don't know that. So now that you know that, one, you have a ton of these tools already because I've been sharing them with you on the podcast, but now you have other things that you can, put into your toolbox, which are the human design and the EFT. So how I use this in my program is that we use the EFT tapping exercises to help you get to a deep subconscious level. We work in the unconscious aspects of your human design. And I know you're probably like, well, I don't even know what human design is. What is this all about? I will teach you this. Like, this is what I do. Like, I can explain this to you and teach it to you on a very deep level so that you know exactly what it is. And I'll probably do another episode just on human design going forward so that you get a better taste of what this actually is. But I know a lot of you already know what this is, so I'm just going to kind of keep it at a high level. It is a blueprint, basically, of how you were designed to be in this world, and it gives you permission to be you, right? So especially if somebody's feeling really lost or confused in their life and they're not sure, what direction they should be in, or how to live to where you feel the most aligned and you feel really peaceful and good about all the things that you're doing, right? Because human design is all about not putting square pegs in round holes or vice versa. It's you living your life how you were meant to live, right? Because we're not designed to live like everyone else. So it's a really, really interesting and fascinating tool that you can use to help you along your journey of self-discovery. Again, because that's what I really want to focus on here is self-discovery, self-development versus just recovering from what we have been through in the past. Now, no matter where you are on your journey, that's exactly where you're supposed to be, right? So if this episode is not resonating with you, I get it. That's totally fine. At some point, it probably will, because you're going through this journey just like I did and just like a lot of other people are going through it. And at some point, you're going to get to where you're like feeling called for more. You're going to feel that draw towards something greater for your life, something bigger, something really expansive. And so that's where I'm at now, and that I want to help other people get to that same place on their journey as well. So that's why you're seeing the new title of the podcast, you're seeing the new images. I really want you to feel the excitement of the future and like all these amazing things that you can have. It's just, it lights me up inside. Like even right now, I just can feel tears coming to my eyes because I know how fantastic life can be because I'm living it right now. Like I am just so, I couldn't even, going back to the time, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. Going back to the time when I was with my ex, I could have never envisioned that my life could be this wonderful. I could have never imagined that I could have had all of these opportunities and just amazing feelings inside of me because I felt so stuck and I felt so lost. So that's why I'm really passionate about sharing these things with you to help you move you to the next level, right? Like, imagine that we are at the bottom of a mountain and you're like, I really want to get to the top of that mountain. And I'm like, hey, I've been up there. I've been up there a lot. Like, I've been up and down, and I've taken a lot of people up and down this mountain. So I know all the ins and outs. I know the best ways. I know what's going to be the most impactful for your journey to get up there. And I know the greatest views along the way. And so, because I have that expertise and that experience, I can be the guide to help you get to the top of that mountain. And that's really what I want to do, because I know that me as your guide, because I've been there, is going to be way better than just sending you up by yourself. There may be a lot more challenges. It might be a lot harder. It might not be as enjoyable. And I want you to have the greatest experience that you can. So let's talk a little bit more about the EFT, because I talked a little bit about the human design. Let's talk about a little bit more about the EFT. So the emotional freedom technique is a tool that you use that helps you bring up subconscious beliefs. Now, tapping actually draws on the ancient Chinese practice of acupuncture, which has to do with the body's energy and how it travels along specific pathways in your body. So you're tapping on different meridian points of your body to relieve symptoms of negative experiences or negative emotions. And it's really, really fascinating that when you start doing this, you can actually figure out, like when you do it specifically consistently, you start figuring out what's inside your subconscious mind. Then what you can do is, when you get kind of to these deeper layers, then you can use these subconscious beliefs to help you reprogram those things using the 4-step tool that I have in my subconscious reprogramming. This is really exciting stuff because we're using like a holistic approach to helping you get to that next level, helping you get up to the top of that mountain so that you have that breathtaking view, so that you can feel and see everything from a different perspective. And that's what I really want to help people with, is this self-discovery, this self-development in place of just a recovery place. Now, if you are still on your recovery journey, then I would absolutely encourage you to continue doing that. Like, you will know when you're ready, because you'll start to feel this strong pull. You'll start to feel this desire, and you'll start to feel like, I need something more. Like, you will just know. I don't even know how to describe it, but I've had other people tell me that as well, that it just feels like this, like pull or desire or urge to go in a specific direction that's better for you. So that's what that's about. So I'm using these 3 aspects to help you be a better you. Okay, so I told you I had some exciting news, so I'm going to tell you what that is now, and then I'm going to get into a couple of tips that can help you sort of propel yourself and maybe kickstart this into high gear to get you to be a better you. So what I wanted to share is that I am offering a one-on-one breakthrough vision strategy session. Now, this is a 2-hour intensive session focused only on you, figuring out what those subconscious blocks are, teaching you EFT, giving you a human design reading. All of this is going to be encompassed in these 2 hours so that we can create a vision and a plan to move you forward in the fastest way possible. So that's something that you can take with you as this strategy session to start putting things into practice going forward. Now, I am not going to be selling you anything on this particular call, because it is specifically designed to help you get the greatest impact within these 2 hours. So I have a very detailed outlined plan that we are going to go through step by step to get you to this vision for your breakthrough. Now, this 2-hour session is $450. But the good news about this investment is that if you ever decide to work with me in my one-on-one coaching program, the 12-week program, you can actually deduct that $450 from that total price at any point in time, right? It doesn't have to be like within a week or like ever, right? If I'm still offering that one-on-one 12-week program, you can apply that $450 to that as we continue to work through these things. But again, it's specifically for you and me to work through, figure out what's going on a subconscious level, to start to bring all these things to the surface and a plan to move you forward if this is something that you desire. I would really encourage you to really think about this before you decide, because, it might not be the right time for you. It might be, but you want to really feel into if this feels good to you, like on a gut level. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the tips that I want to share. Okay, so the first thing that I would love for you to try out, and this is going to be the most shocking of all of the things that I want to share as tips, is to give yourself at least 1 hour of undivided self-attention. So what does this mean? What does this look like? And if you're like, I don't have an hour to myself, right? You carving out 1 hour to yourself is going to be a huge change for you, okay? So I am certain that if you actually map out your day and you try to find an hour for yourself, you will be shocked at where you can find this time, right? Mindless scrolling on apps, right? Maybe cutting down your shower by 5 or 10 minutes. You could find time by, recording your television show so that you can binge watch it on Saturday, right? So that you're not, or whatever you like to watch, like on Netflix or something. And then just watch it all in one day or one weekend, right? Because what you want to do is you want to look for spaces that can actually free up time for you. And what does this time look like, right? Is this time that you're going to go do something fun for yourself? No. This is actually just time sitting by yourself alone. So some people are like, oh, no, I cannot do that. I do not want to be by myself. I don't want to spend time by myself. I get that. But maybe you can start small. Maybe you can start with a couple of minutes here or there. But when you give yourself this time to literally just sit in silence, you can put on some, soothing music in the background or in your earbuds or however you want to do that. But you are going to open up your mind and expand on the things that you really want for your life. When we have all these noises and distractions and all of these things, we can't be the best version of ourselves, right? You've got to find the opportunities so that you can be by yourself and get used to being by yourself and being in this, intentional time to have these realizations, to have these things come up for you, to show you really like who you are and what is happening inside of your mind. So I'm not saying you have to do all these things, but I'm telling you, if you start a practice like this, and you don't even have to do it every single day, you just have to do it occasionally, right? If you want to do it every other day or even once a week, that's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. So what you might be asking is, well, what am I supposed to be doing? You're not supposed to be doing anything. You're supposed to just be with yourself. This, again, can be very scary for people. So use your judgment, right? Like if you're at the very beginning stages of your healing journey, this might not be ideal. You might only be able to sit with yourself for 2 minutes, and that's okay, right? And I've talked about that in other episodes as well. But the closer that you get to being the best version of you, the more time you need to spend with yourself. And what that does is that helps eliminate distractions, and it gives you deep, profound realizations and direction about your life. And some people might be like, well, how is that possible? How can I just be in silence or just be with myself with, nature sounds? How's that going to do anything? I'm telling you, give it a try and you will see, right? This is something that most people don't give themselves enough of. We feel like because we live in a society where we have to be go, 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 we have to be do, we have to be doing all the things and putting in all the effort. It's time to slow down. It's time to take a breather. It's time to reconnect with yourself. How can you be the best version of yourself if you don't even know the best version of yourself, right? So that's what I'm talking about here. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, number two, and this should be a simple one. If the first one wasn't as simple, I told you it would be a little shocking. But if the first one isn't for you and you want to skip over that and do number two, right? So number two is asking yourself intentional questions for self-discovery, okay? So this should happen probably once a week is probably the ideal occurrence that you'd like to try to do these kind of self-discovery questions. But what I mean by this is finding out who you are just by purposeful, intentional questions, okay? So you get out a piece of paper and a pen. And one of the first questions that you can ask yourself is, what actually brings me joy? And write a couple of sentences about it, right? Not just one thing, right? And this should be something that not only is outside of you, but inside of you, right? Because you could say, oh, my children bring me joy, or my job brings me joy, right? But what if, there was something that brought you joy that you could get from inside of yourself? That's an area that's important not to forget. So something that brings you joy that you can find inside of yourself would be something like your creative ability, right? So let's say you're really good at music or art or dance or anything really, if there's some sort of gift inside of you, like if you're really good at listening, right? That's something too. What does it bring you joy to be a really good listener, right? Anything is fair game. You don't have to think oh, it brings me joy to go on a bike ride, right? It doesn't have to be something that's specific externally. It can just be something that's inside of you. Okay. So you're reflecting on the things that bring you joy. It can be outside of you, but also don't neglect the things that innately that bring you joy inside of you, because these are parts of who you are and who you were designed to be. So it's important to think about what are those things. And most people don't look at this. The other question is, in what areas do you feel most fulfilled? Okay, so thinking about times when you feel filled up, when you feel satisfaction, when you feel at peace, what are these areas or times in your life when you feel that, and really pinpoint that and get detailed and specific. And then maybe think of some times that you could think of where time goes by really quickly for you. What activities or things that I do where I really get lost in it and time really just goes by really quickly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already been 2 hours. I can't believe it, right? So what are some of those things? Okay. And the reason why is because this is going to help you get to know yourself better on a deeper level. And they prompt this self-reflection so that you can uncover different aspects of yourself that actually contribute to your authentic happiness and personal fulfillment. All right, so the third thing is using visualization to give yourself clarity. And I'm actually thinking about creating a guided visualization so that you could get that just like a free download. I'm not going to create it if nobody wants it, but if it's something that you think would help you, let me know, and you can DM me on Instagram or Facebook, and I will create this for you, and I'll just provide it as a free download. Because the importance of visualization is because you're actually speaking the language of the subconscious mind when you are visualizing. The subconscious mind doesn't really understand just general words. It really understands on a deeper level when it can see images or stories or analogies or things played out like a movie screen. That's the language of the subconscious mind. Otherwise, it's like speaking a foreign language. So that's essentially why, and you've probably heard me say this before, affirmations in general, when people just speak affirmations, don't work because you're not speaking the language of the subconscious mind. So essentially what you want to do when you're doing a visualization for this kind of clarity, for these, deeper realizations and self-reflection, is to picture your ideal day. So you would be considering all of the activities that you would be doing, all the emotions that you would be feeling, what's happening in your surroundings, who's around you, what are the wonderful things that you would love to have for your life? What does it look like? Are you traveling? Are you in your ideal job? Are you having just peace and freedom in your life? Like, what does it look like? Now, we're not just doing this for like 30 seconds and moving on. Now, we actually need to impress this vision into our mind multiple times a day. And you can practice this anytime you want. That's the power of visualization is, I try to do these things when I'm in the shower, right when I wake up in the morning, right before I go to bed. It's like daydreaming, really. You can even daydream while you are driving in a car, right? Because your body's kind of on autopilot. I'm not saying you shouldn't be concerned about driving. Obviously, I am. But you know that when you're driving, sometimes your mind is wandering about things, right? So make sure the things that you're visualizing and thinking about are good things, right? Because you are actually the one that gets to choose. So what does that life look like for you? And visualizing it with detail and emotion is going to help solidify that vision in your mind to help you make it a reality, which is really, really exciting because these are all pieces and parts to becoming a better you, right? If you don't have that vision, you're not going to be able to reach that level that you want, right? Because it's like going on a vacation without a destination. You really need to have a clear idea of where you want to go. And again, if you're just, waking up in the morning, hold that visualization, for 5 or 10 minutes, really think about it, kind of get lost in the details and the emotions and the feelings about it. Now, some people will say, well, I'm not really good at visualizing. I can't really see things in my mind. I can't really see them. And I get that because there are people who really have difficulty doing that. Maybe you're somebody who would rather draw a picture of it. Maybe you're somebody who would like to cut pictures out and put it on a vision board. Maybe you're somebody who really just wants to feel into the emotions instead. And you can think about times that you felt those kinds of emotions and hold those emotions for yourself as well. So these are just 3 tips. Like I have way more than this. Like I have other things that you can do. But these are just 3 really easy ones that you can start with to help you start to become a better you, right? It's getting to know who you are. It's getting to know yourself on a deeper level. It's putting these things into practice so that you can actually take action and move forward. So again, that's what I'm going to be doing in my 2-hour breakthrough vision strategy session with you. Is we are going to be getting into the human design. We're going to be practicing the EFT. We're going to bring the subconscious stuff up, and then we're going to create a strategy and a vision so that you can take that and move yourself forward. Okay, so I hope this has been super helpful for you. I hope that you guys are as excited about this as I am. I would really love to hear from you and know what you think. And, try to just be open-minded to some of these things because I know for me personally, they have extremely amplified, catapulted, I don't know what the other word, motivated, all these things for me personally in my self-discovery journey. So if I can help you with that, get to the top of the mountain, that's what I would love to do. All right, so as always, reach out to me if you have any questions. Let me know if you want that visualization exercise, and if you do, and if I hear from enough people, I will go ahead and put that up for you so that you guys have that to start practicing. So have a wonderful day, and if you do want to sign up for the 2-hour intensive, just go to the link at the bottom of the show notes, and then you can click there, sign up for it, and then we'll schedule the meeting for us to chat. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you next week.